And welcome back to episode 186 of the Weekly Tech Rant with me, Jay.
And me, Karl.
Welcome. We are firmly in the grip of what I can only describe as a cool autumn, winter time, I think, or heading into winter, isn't it? Grey, that's the word, isn't it? Yeah. All of the big tech conferences are done, aren't they? All of the, the big stuff's kind of wrapping up. It's getting towards the end of the year, and Apple may be announcing new Macs, which we'll talk about in a little bit, which is not quite what we expected, but we'll cover that in a second. This week we have got a bit of a mixed bag, and we're roundup. We've got eyeball scanning, we've got mergers, we've got faulty satellites, we've got Macs, as I said. I never thought I'd say this. We're going to talk about a new VHS release.
Bring back Betamax.
Yeah, well, bring back BMX, where they were robbed. And we've got the Setback rumour mill, which is, it's probably the worst rumour I've read for a long time. If I'm honest with you.
Blow you away.
Blow you away. And I guess a quick, heads up on gaming. We've got a couple of things come up in gaming, haven't we? We've got COD 6, Black Ops 6 was released today as it's come out. And also in other news, we've got next month, the release of Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, which I did pre-install, by the way, the other week.
Yep, me too.
I'm looking forward to that. That should be good fun. So once they're out, we've had a little bit of chance to have a little play. We'll give you our thoughts and feelings on those two games.
Definitely.
So I suppose this week, let's crack on first things first with the first story, which is Sam Altman's
Him of OpenAI fame.
Yes, should we just call him Sam AI? I think, we've got Tim Apple, Sam AI. We talked about this a little while ago, didn't we? But this magical orb thing that he was released under his WorldCoin. Well, I want to say crypto company, but it's not just crypto, is it? It's now known as World, and they have this eyeball scanning device called the Orb.
Yeah,
which as I'm going to have to quote The Verge here in their story, they called it designed to solve a problem which does not currently exist.
Yeah,
which is authenticating that you are human.
Yes, the project aims to kind of What do they say? They say authenticate human identity in the AI era through biometric scanning, offering users a world ID and cryptocurrency tokens.
But like I say, I wasn't aware that was currently a problem.
Well, no. Two minds.
Yes,
right? So
you can't do it. You can't do it.
No. But I'm trying to okay. So we've got the whole thing now about how do you tell it's a real photo from an AI generated one, and we're looking to Google's going to flag AI stuff and all that kind of things, and so is Apple looking to do that. But how do you verify you're speaking to a real human? I suppose that's the route he's going down. But could the AI not just fake the world ID?
What, create its own biometric?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's a solution looking for a problem, potentially.
I mean, let's fast forward, 50 years into the dystopian future that we're speeding towards. And, there are Tesla-style robots that now look humanoid. And, at first glance, you're not sure whether it's Blade Runner has come alive.
I'm about to say, we're talking Blade Runner here.
And you want to authenticate that you are a human, then this is a fantastic solution to that problem. Right now, I don't truly understand why it exists.
I think we're just giving the AI everyone's iris scans.
Well, yeah, because they have, according to World, they say they verified 7 million, and I quote, unique humans. I'm assuming we were all unique, but and it's there, isn't it? To say, and the World's ID services are available globally, but its crypto equivalent, which is the World Coin element, is only available in the US at the moment.
No, it's not available in the US.
Sorry, not available in the US. Apologize. Sorry, it's the only place it's not.
Places aren't there where it's not, or it's going through regulatory hurdles.
Yes, and it is again another issue around data privacy, isn't it? Around data collection, which is concerns around all of that. And I think anything that's sets out a project to effectively scan humanity does raise some eyebrows, and that was no pun intended.
But they do have a shiny new orb, though, don't they?
They do have a shiny orb powered by Nvidia's AI
Jetson
platform. Jetson, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, they obviously they need to mass produce this more to get more overseas scans. So apparently, this is going to take 30% fewer parts. To say it's based on Nvidia's Jetson platform for robotics and AI, designed basically to be easier and cheaper to manufacture, so they can get them out the door quicker.
Yeah, and apparently you can pre-order your orb at the moment. You put down $100 deposit for a priority, and you agree to pre-order the orb. I mean, I had a look at the website earlier. You pay, in it's £80 or $100, and you can become a community operator. And that orb, you can either purchase it or rent it, and it'll be shipped in Q2 2025. That's calendar year, and that's based on production schedules according to World.
What do you get out of it? If you're a community operator and you spent the money to rent or buy an orb, what do you get out of it?
I'm not entirely sure, my friend.
I couldn't figure that one out.
You can start verifying humans too.
Okay. Yes, or maybe they're going to pay you in crypto coin.
When I look on the World site, they seem to be working in Colombia, Peru, Argentina, Ecuador, and Chile. In the US, it's Mexico only, where there are 170 unique humans, according to Warp. In Mexico, in Singapore, there's 68. Korea, 30,000. Japan, 111,000. And then in Europe, it appears to be France. In the UK, only a couple of thousand. So they're operating, across the globe. But to your point, what are you getting out of it? Because I'm struggling to see what I would get out of it.
As a person going to get their eyes scanned, I can't figure out what I'm getting out, let alone as an operator who's scanning the people.
No, it's a really peculiar piece. But I'm not sure either. So on that note, sir,
when we figure it out, we'll let you know.
We'll let you know. Yeah, I must say though, and it wasn't on the story list, but I bookmarked this earlier and thought to add it into the show notes. Was I don't know if you saw the other day, but Miles Brundage, who is apparently the OpenAI's senior advisor for readiness of AGI, so that's the artificial general intelligence, isn't it, which is human level, is leaving OpenAI, but he put out a statement the other day saying that neither OpenAI nor any other frontier lab is ready for AGI, and the world is not ready.
I think I could probably wholeheartedly get behind that.
And basically, what he's saying is that he didn't think that was a controversial statement, saying that actually they're winding down the AGI readiness team, because I don't think we're there. I think the AGI is this threshold, isn't it? That once we cross, we can't go back, isn't it? It's Pandora's box, and the truth is, I think if it was out there, and I don't mean the X-Files, the world I think it would. I kind of think overnight the world would change.
Yeah. Because I don't think we're just not ready to embrace that humanity-wise, but we also can't afford that. I mean, think how much OpenAI and other AI is costing the world in water and energy production, like crypto was, and we're not at AGI yet.
No, and I think you probably saw those news reports, and there's been, I think, in a lot of mainstream media about companies now looking at nuclear as as a
Microsoft
viable
bought their own reactor or power from a reactor they're bringing back up, aren't they?
Google doing it, and I think Amazon have been exploring build basically, and I think that's what we're going to see now. We're going to see these large tech companies make significant investments into power generation because that's going to be
fallout.
Well, it's going to be the only way, isn't it? It's going to be the only way that they can now control that aspect of it.
It is, and they'll need to, because it uses so much that they'll need to be able to generate power more than what they can get off the grid.
It's a crazy world we're moving into, I have to say. But I saw that. I just wanted to call it out. I thought it was when we're talking about the orb thing. It just seemed, a logical statement to go along with it. That this whole AGI thing. We're not there. AGI reckon, that it will happen. Sorry, OpenAI reckon AGI is going to happen. So do everybody else. And that this, I think OpenAI's statement is it's on track to be ready at the relevant time. Well, that statement is as ambiguous as it gets, isn't it?
Vague. And even if it was ready now, would they tell us?
I don't think so. I think
Just
there
think
would
how much
be.
they could use it for and make money without telling the general public.
Well, I was also going to say as well, look at it from another perspective of the US government.
Yep.
Given would be like, I think we need to have a conversation first. Uh, you know,
Yes, the military standing behind us.
yes, whatever this costs, we've bought it.
Yeah, we've now just bought OpenAI. Or
Yeah,
whoever.
yeah. Well, talking about buying things, then that's probably a good place to segue
Yep.
into, Sophos and their recent acquisition of what was Dell SecureWorks.
What a competitor.
Yeah. First off, Sophos isn't a company that I think of when I think of cybersecurity these days.
Not
They were
anymore,
very
no.
strong.
In the past, definitely. But
Now, don't get me wrong; they are still very present in the market, especially around MDR, so managed detection and response.
yeah, I used them for firewalls in a before moving to OPN sense. I had can't remember what it was called now. It was a company they bought. I had one of their firewall appliances at home, and Sophos bought them, and it was all right software. But obviously, I moved to open source now. But you're right. Not nowadays. Don't really think of them as cybersecurity.
No, but to be fair, and again, to recognise they are still in the marketplace, they are still, um, operating. But of course, today they exist, don't they, as part of a pro equity.
Thoma Brava.
Yes, who Tom Bravo, who basically bought all the things security, haven't they?
Yeah, they kind of went for all the SMB mid market kind of things, haven't they?
Yeah, and brought it all together. And that. So they've picked up SecureWorks. And again, I had forgotten that Dell had spun them back out as an IPO, hadn't they? Which didn't quite work.
Not a successful IPO. When was that? It was back in 2011, I think.
Yeah,
And
no. 2016 they tried to IPO them. So yeah,
oh no, it was acquired by Dell in 2011. IPO,
yeah,
you're
that was
right,
it. Yeah,
2016. But Dell apparently still own the majority stake in the company. But yeah, they have bought SecureWorks for $859 million, or about 28% premium over the current stock price, $8.50 a share.
but I guess this is an interesting one. I think that rather it isn't Thoma Bravo that's bought them directly. It's Sophos have picked them up, haven't they?
Yes.
And I guess who is happier here. I think Dell certainly, because that's now Michael
Dell
Dell
must be
and
very
his
happy.
shareholders. They've got money here. I don't think we're going to see any competition issues either, because they're low end of the market, aren't they?
Yeah.
But Thoma Bravo did. I mean, what was the big
They
one?
bought
Dark Trace,
didn't they?
yeah, which was quite interesting.
5.3 billion, yeah.
We've got I think again it's aligning for them. It's picking up technology, isn't it? Rather than pushing money into research and development, it's buying up these different companies so they can create a catalog of services, isn't it? Really, around that.
Yeah.
So what just remind. I mean, what are SecureWorks doing these days? It's just endpoint protection, really, isn't it? Around a lot of their products, isn't it?
They got a threat detection platform, haven't they? I can't pronounce it. Taegis.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, Taegis is that, and they've also got quite a large managed service security business, haven't they, as well? They've got some SaaS-based SIEM products as well. I think it was called Red Cloak when I was looking at it. It may have changed, but I think that was what I saw in my notes.
Yeah. I'm interested to see if Thoma Bravo are going to kind of merge into these. They did buy the other ones, big ones they bought were Ping, weren't they? And ForgeRock.
And SailPoint.
Identity, yeah, and SailPoint. And they've merged all of those. But will they start merging some of the security assets?
Well, you got to think at some point it's probably the right way to do it.
Yeah.
You've got otherwise you've got all of this, massive catalog of services that probably would benefit from working together and being, taking some of the common elements and creating, dare I say it, a platform.
Yep.
Whether or not that probably requires a lot of work, because a lot of them are going to be, on their own bespoke proprietary services.
Yeah.
But maybe the other argument here, though, is if you put them under the same umbrella, the customers could benefit because you've now got access to a wider range of services and offerings. But yeah, there's got to be I mean, Thoma Bravo. There must be a bigger picture plan here that we're not seeing.
Or maybe I suppose if they own all the companies in the S&P market, if you lose a customer, it's only going to one of your other companies which you own anyway.
Yeah, that's
Well, there's nowhere else to go. You own all the companies.
I was like, yeah, you're probably right there. I hadn't thought of it that way, but yeah, you're probably right.
Or there's a good chance it's going to one of your companies.
We've lost that deal, for customer X in the SME market.
Got it here.
Who have they gone with? Oh, yeah, across the table, us. Yeah, I guess but I mean, but Thoma Bravo though, I have to say they according to analysts, they've got around 50 billion they reckon at the moment in assets in the cybersecurity market.
Okay.
Not bad place to be, but yeah, there's got to be something here that's going to come out. Maybe we'll see it. Maybe in the next year or two we'll start to see a reason for doing it and a plan to come to light. But I know there's a lot of concerns from some customer bases, aren't they, that this is not good for them, because when P&E buys them out, the terms and conditions change. We get raises on
even more.
Yeah, so. Exactly. We see a rise on prices around subscription as they move to ARR, annual recurring revenue, as opposed to the perpetual licensing that a lot of them will have sold, wouldn't it, before?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it depends where you sit in that place. But if you work at that company, hopefully it's a good thing and there won't be job losses for SecureWorks going forward.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Well, talking of things that are not so great,
falling out of the
Boeing,
sky, not great.
Yes, Boeing have had another bad week. There are reports out that a comm satellite that was constructed by Boeing and operated
Intelsat
has stopped working initially due to an anomaly, according to
Saturday 19th, wasn't it? Yeah, they announced there was an anomaly and they kind of lost contact with it,
and now it's a total loss as of Monday this week.
Yes, and it literally did fall to pieces. So the US Space Force are tracking approximately 20 pieces of debris, whilst another firm, Exo Analytics Solutions, that basically satellite tracking company, report monitoring 57 separate pieces. Although there is no immediate threat reported by Space Force, so you're not going to get a satellite fall on your house.
No, and I imagine if they do. Well, I'll rephrase that. When they do re-enter, I'm guessing because of the size of it, they'll be burnt up in there. But this Intelsat is Intelsat 33E was launched. Actually, it was launched 8 years ago.
So that's not a long time for a satellite.
Well, no, I mean, but it didn't have a particularly good life, did it? So according to the notes on it, it had a propulsion issue not long after launch. It had another issue a year later, and it was meant to have a 15-year lifespan.
But the propulsion issue reduced it by 3.5 years.
Yeah, but one of its sister satellites, 29E, also was a total loss after 3 years post-launch. So maybe there's a systemic problem with these particular satellites. Maybe,
or with Boeing.
Yeah, I mean, look, let's be honest. Boeing aren't in a great place at the minute, are they?
Starliner, 737 Max.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say as well, they're having issues from the workforce as well. They've got trying to sign deals with the unions. They've got production issues as well in terms of backlog. I was seeing the other day that there's also kind of issues around parts for some of the aircraft. British Airways are having issues, but that's with their Boeing 787s, which is particularly linked to Rolls-Royce engines. So I know not Boeing directly, but again, it's part of the whole supply chain. And you're right, as you say, the Starliner issue bumbles on. Those astronauts are still up there.
They are. They're not getting back to after Christmas.
No, they're not. But though interestingly, we have had, the Dragon capsule was returned yesterday. Another Dragon 8, wasn't it? Came down yesterday. That returned the other crew, which means that they're on track for the next Dragon to go up. I think in a couple of months, isn't it? That will dock, and then it'll have 2 spare seats on it, and bring back the other astronauts. So SpaceX continue to push forward here. I think it's probably wrong to say Boeing. This is an issue with Boeing. Look at all the other problems, because I don't think these are linked. These are not linked issues. But I think if you look at the bigger picture for Boeing as an organization, it doesn't look good, does it?
No, public perception is not great for Boeing at the moment.
No, because the Boeing Space Division versus the Boeing, plane building division are separate companies. They're not all being built in the same plant in Seattle, are they? On the same production line. There are things different here, but you're right. I think public perception of Boeing and their stock price does not look good.
No.
And you can see people commenting on social media saying, "Oh, well, this is typical." Well, like, yeah, but it happens to other companies. There are things happening here. There, what's happened with this satellite, we're not entirely sure. They haven't come out to say whether it was a failure of the satellite itself. There doesn't appear to be any collision with another space object either. But given, as we said, that other one failed, it looks like it's probably more of a problem with these satellites themselves, isn't it, in terms of the construction or whatever. But but this is, it kind of adds to this thing. We've got more debris in space now, and you've got, as you say, Space Force are tracking parts there, Exoanalytic are tracking stuff. There are other companies.
SpaceX wants to put another 30,000 satellites in orbit.
They do. So there was, back in 1978, there was two NASA scientists called Donald Kessler and Burton Kuor-Police, who came up with a theory, which is known as the Kessler syndrome. And it's a scenario where the density of objects in low Earth orbit, due to what they call space pollution or other debris, means that we cannot, there's a cascade effect. So that basically it happens that there's a cascade effect. Each collision generates more debris that increases further collisions, and also means that you cannot put anything into orbit because there's too much there.
You can't get up there.
Yeah, and it is not there yet, but and they're not saying it's close, but we're kind of getting there, and there are different reasons, things.
Well, there's no one ruling body looking after space, is it?
No,
every country does its own thing.
But back in but there was the Chinese have been particularly bad at this in terms of increasing it. Back in 24 years ago, there was a Long March booster that created 3,000 pieces of debris in one piece. They had another Long March booster a little while ago, didn't they?
Yep.
They just blew up in
Dropped
space.
on a village.
We've had Americans and the Russians and the Chinese have all done anti-satellite tests where they've launched missiles or they've struck things in space and created additional debris. It's just a mess up there. And as you say, we've got SpaceX wanting to put 30,000 satellites in a constellation for Starlink. We've got Amazon and their Kuiper project wanting to get to similar numbers long term. You've got OneWeb as well doing the same thing. It's just, you're right, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, trying to launch anything into space must be an absolute nightmare now that you have to avoid things.
Yeah, and just because you track the orbit trajectory, everything there, and you've planned around to put a launch, but a satellite there doesn't mean someone else is going to come along and put a satellite there before you get there.
Yeah, I mean, I will note, current scientists today say that the scientific community hasn't agreed yet whether or not the Kessler syndrome has started, or if it hasn't started, or if it will happen. Nobody can agree on it, basically.
Can't imagine we're too far away from it starting.
But what they do agree on, though, according to scholars here, is that the concept is sound. We are putting too much, to put it bluntly.
It's not a case of if, it's a case of when.
Yeah, which is kind of scary, isn't it? And I think you're right. I don't want to sound hypocritical, but I think the whole Starlink, Kuiper, OneWeb, broadband satellite space, is fantastic. To democratize the access to the internet and communication in places where there aren't fiber optic cables running across places. I think that was going to massively help the world.
Yeah.
But when as you say, you think of what the Starlink satellites, they're less than a cubic meter, aren't they? They're quite small satellites. 30,000 of those things flying over your head at 15,000 miles an hour.
Another 30,000 on top of, I don't know how many they've got now.
I think, well, it's like, isn't there? This must be close to 10,000 up there now, isn't it, at the moment?
Probably more than that, I would have thought.
Go on, I'm going to have a look. Starlink constellations. Current number. Just shy of 6,500.
Oh, okay, I thought it was going to be more than that one.
Which currently, well, there are two different facts depending on where you get your data from.
Yeah,
there's around 7,000. Let's go with that as a working hypothesis.
Okay,
that's still a lot of satellites, isn't it?
That's still a lot of satellites. Yep.
But there you go. Well, talking of launches, then another nice segue. Look at that. We're on fire this week.
Roll.
So last week we got the iPad Mini 7, didn't we?
We did.
Came out.
Caved and bought one the other night.
I'm going to cut your credit card up. Came out via press release, which wasn't a major shock, but
it was the unexpected iPad to be released. So it wasn't a shock, was it?
So our question last week was, where in the name of Tim Apple are the M4 Max?
Yeah, and aren't we meant to be having, Gurman and everyone was saying we're going to have an actual event.
However, doesn't look like we're going to get that, does it now?
Well, we've kind of got an event, but it's not an event. It's not an actual single event. It's a whole week of product announcements via news releases, I'm presuming. Yeah.
So Greg Jazwocki, isn't he, who is the VP of Worldwide Marketing, put an announcement out saying, Mac.
Mac.
Winky face. I hate that statement. Your calendars in a post on X. Saying we've got a week of exciting announcements ahead, starting Monday morning. Now, is that Monday morning Pacific time, or is that Monday morning?
6 in the evening for us, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So it looks like we're going to get an announcement next week on the M4 Max, potentially a Mac Mini, maybe maybe other iMacs. Who knows? There isn't news on that. But I'm a little disappointed that we're not getting the event. Maybe they don't feel it warrants it.
But again, I suppose, like it's been asked a couple of times, there's no new radical design. We're not getting the tandem OLED or anything like that yet. It's not ready. So there's no new massive features other than an M4. And we've already had the M4 in the iPad. So we know what an M4 does. A Max is double that. A Pro is double that. A Max is double that again. It's nothing new and unexpected here.
No, that's the thing. There's no chassis design changes there. We're not looking at a new variant of the Mac. We're effectively just looking at a sock change, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe there might be another port in there for a couple extra
the only
USB-Cs
one that I think, but if we get, but the other one that I think could have warranted a new event was the Mac Mini, because the rumors of that being sized Apple TV size.
Yeah.
That's where I'd kind of say.
But a whole event for a Mac Mini?
Yeah, I just. Yeah, maybe not. It doesn't. But you could have tacked on then, and here come the new MacBook Pros roll out. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But I just I'm interested to see it. I'm me. I'm really keen to get information on the M4 Max. I've got to sell a child or a body
need to take
part.
Your credit card away from you as well and chop that one up. Stop you buying an M4 Mac Pro.
M4 Mac Pro, M4 Mac Pro with 32 gig and 1 terabyte hard disk. Because I want to have the best experience for Apple Intelligence.
For browsing the web.
Yeah. Talking of Apple Intelligence, we have it in the UK.
We do. I have it on my phone now. Yeah. What we
released,
I do
as well.
8.2 dev beta came out Monday, wasn't it?
I know you have thoughts on dev betas. You're not usually a fan of dev betas.
No, but I thought I'll let you go first. You said all the banking apps worked, so I hit the trigger. And I've not had any issues yet so far. Apple Intelligence has been a marked improvement over She Who Shall Not Be Named.
No, it's quite good, isn't it?
It even works in CarPlay. I got the fancy, the animations and stuff. I tried
sort of glow effect, isn't it? Yeah,
the glow effect. Yeah, I asked it to find the nearest petrol station. It gave me a nice list. Asked it about traffic conditions on the way to where I was going. It was more than I can get Siri to do. Yeah, I played it with the what's the photo bit? So where you can remove people and objects from photos. That's
And had you,
all
so,
right. I can tell it's been removed.
but yeah, it's not
It
quite
depends
perfect, is
what
it?
you're removing and how complicated the scene is. Some results have been better than others, but I can tell just by sometimes not even zooming in that an object has been removed.
Yeah, so I'd use the cleanup function. I'd
Yeah,
use
that's
that a
it.
few
Clean up to
times.
remove a person. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd use that a few times in because that was in 8.1 as
Oh,
well.
was it? I didn't do
Um,
8.1.
but it wasn't you didn't get quite the same sort of funny effects, like the glowy
The
effects and all that
glowing of the
jazz.
object and it slowly fades out.
Yeah. That worked quite well. I've had that on a few things. I've also tried the emails changed. We've now got the what's the word? The categorizations in email, which is
Yep.
not too bad. Getting used to that. Um,
I
I've tried
tried the. Yeah, so go ahead.
summary effect. Yeah, I was gonna try summary effect on that. The other thing we haven't got access to yet, isn't it? Is the playground. I'm still waiting for that.
Playground waiting for. I've tried the one where you can hold down the camera control button and then you can take a
Visual.
photo of something, visual, whatever they call it, and they send it off to ChatGPT and it'll tell you about the object you're looking at.
Yes, that's right.
I've only tried it on plants so far, but that seemed to work all right.
I did take a picture of an iPhone screen and it selected the time and date and it told me what the time and date was.
Okay, handy.
And I've also connected mine to my ChatGPT account as well.
I'm just using the freebie one.
So that's quite cool. So now it will track all of my requests.
Okay, very cool.
So yeah, look, I mean, early days at the moment for testing. But I think, like you say, She Who Should Not Be Mentioned certainly sounds better.
Yeah, I've not tried any text generation yet.
No, I haven't.
I couldn't really figure out where that was. I need to spend a bit more time with it.
So that is in the Notes app.
I don't use the Notes app or the Native Mail app.
I've seen it somewhere else, but it is in the Notes app as well.
I thought it would just be available in anything that used a keyboard. But
I think it is, but that's where I saw it first time anyway.
And we obviously don't have Genmojis and stuff like that because that's
not yet in the playground app yet. Yeah. I was in the car the other day, and I thought after what you said about it's working better, so I asked She Should Not Be Named. I said, "How long is it going to take me to get home?"
Yep.
And it said, "Oh, based on traffic on this road, 5 minutes." I was like, "That's cool." So then I asked it, "What's the weather tomorrow?" And it told me the weather and popped up on the screen.
Yeah, it does a little pop up now, doesn't it? A bit like the visual one where you get the sun and the clouds and stuff like that. And the temperature at the bottom, but it was. I know they don't want you to read too much while you're driving, but it was just a quick visual. Great, I can back that with what they're saying. Yeah.
But I thought the traffic thing was quite useful as well. I did ask it something else, but then it told me it needed to show me on my phone. But I can't remember what I asked it. But
no, show me on the car screen, the big 10-inch screen there.
yeah. But there we go. But no, early indications are pretty good. So I'm pleased. We didn't have to wait too long.
No.
To get it. So here's a statement I thought I'd never say in my adult life, but there is a film getting a VHS release. Yes, those are the exact words. This December, you will be able to buy on VHS for the children in the audience. That is a video cassette, commonly used prior to DVDs and Blu-rays. Played in a VCR, a video cassette recorder playback. Yes. The old "Why haven't you rewound it?" You will be able to get Alien Romulus on VHS.
Yeah, this is to celebrate the Alien franchise. Was it 45th anniversary, isn't it?
Yeah, which is bonkers. Absolutely.
Have you watched it yet, though?
Bonkers. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
You've seen it? I thoroughly enjoyed that one. Yeah, I mean, it was very reminiscent of the first Alien film, and it is set, 20 years after Alien, but 40 odd years before Aliens, plural.
Yeah, so... Yes, as I say, so it fits in very nicely into timeline, doesn't it? So
yeah, and it's got the very start. You see the nice little Easter egg of the Nostradamus, isn't it? Ship
at the start. Yeah, that's right. Or what's left of it.
Or what's left of it. Yeah, they kind of go through it looking for.
So they've done a very good job of connecting the first film, haven't they?
Yeah.
And effectively connecting the second film because Ripley at this point is still in stasis. She hasn't been rescued her, has she?
Nope.
Getting back. But we've connected the first and the second film to it, so it fits in the canon nicely in that respect. I really also felt that it had elements of the Alien Isolation video game that came out 10
Yeah.
years ago. It also had really good elements of, there was an Alien audiobook, which I don't know if you've listened to.
I haven't, no.
Which I was told about through a mutual colleague of ours, which was on Audible, and it's called where is it? I've got my Audible library here. It is called Alien. Why is it when you want to, you can't find it?
Nope.
And I had it right in front of me, and I closed the app. Oh man, where is it? Well, I just wanted to see it. Alien Out of the Shadows,
right, okay.
which is set on a space station. But it's also but Ripley's in it, and it's a little bit different. But it's got elements of that. So I think Fede Alvarez, who is the director, I think really captured the spirit of Alien.
He did, and there was a nice homage to Ian Holm, wasn't there?
Yeah,
kind of
facial, without too much of a spoiler.
Obviously, he passed away, didn't he? So, but there was something in there which I thought was kind of touching.
Yeah, it was touching, but I think the facial CGI was terrible.
It was.
They'd have been better.
It was.
They'd have been better off just doing a voice, I think. But
yeah, it was fine when it was on the screens, but not the in-person bit.
No, but I think they really captured that dark dystopian future, didn't they? Of the Alien films. It wasn't. If you look at Prometheus and Covenant, they were brighter films. I don't know if you noticed that they were much brighter. Colors, and they're kind of, because they meant to be set, weren't they, earlier in the timeline. This was darker. This was in that.
I made sure to get to watch it in full HDR, so you got really deep blacks, and it made it very dark and kind of depressing at the moment.
Yeah, you're right, and again, like I say, it sits perfectly in the timeline as a movie, So yeah, basically, so if you've got a VCR, you want to dig one of those out, you will be able to buy one of those later on this year. God knows how much it's going to cost, or where you get it from. But there you go, coming out very soon.
Yeah.
So other news then, we've got Section 31 film coming out. So this is a spin-off, isn't it, from Discovery, Star Trek Discovery, and Star Trek. What's the other one?
Star Trek's, because Section 31's been mentioned through most of them, hasn't it?
Well, they have, but I was thinking more from a term of the actors, people in it. So this is Emperor Giorgio, isn't it? Played by what's her name?
Michelle
Yeoh. So she is the mirror version of Emperor Philippa Giorgio, wasn't he? Last seen in Star Trek Discovery, and now in a spin-off film of Section 31.
Well, strange. I thought it was going to be a TV series.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, it was originally meant to be, wasn't it? But now is going to be a spin-off into a film coming out in January on Paramount Plus. So something to look forward to there. But yeah, I think not much else said about it. It's got it wasn't, the tagline is she's got to face the sins of her past.
That's it. Yeah, face the sins of her past. So it's all about Section 31, which are kind of well, she got sent back in time, didn't she? In the Guns of Forever episode.
Yeah, was it? But we kind of left it there, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then we didn't see it. She went through that. Was it the portal kind of thing? And we hadn't seen from her since. But yeah, it's about her role in Section 31, which is very much the Black Ops division of the Federation that does the things the Federation aren't meant to do.
Well, it's meant to be like the full-on military arm, isn't it, of the Federation? It's just have done some dicey stuff, and hopefully in the film they'll give us a bit more background on Section 31 as well, to know what they really get into.
Because it's been hinted in Next Generation, I think Deep Space Nine, all sorts of things that had Section 31 appear briefly and hinted at. So it would be good to see some more.
Yeah, it would. So then, that's probably a good place for us to. Bit of a delay there.
Hold the press. This is going to blow all the M4 Max out of the water. We are allegedly, according to the code found in iOS 18.1 RC, there are references to new mice and keyboards and trackpads with USB-C.
Oh my!
But is the port still going to be on the bottom of the mouse? No, I suspect it is because it's not hinting at a major design overhaul.
See, I'm looking at my Magic Mouse right now. Okay, and I like it. It's a nice mouse. It's aesthetically pleasing.
But it's not an ergonomic mouse.
But
the interactions I've had with it were not a comfortable mouse experience.
Oh, I don't have a problem with it, but
you wait till you're a cripple in 20 years.
20 years, mate. I tell you.
That's what I'm giving you.
I just don't get it. So the keyboard I've got in front of me. So I have obviously got one of the new.
Oh, you did. You upgraded to the new ones with the old
Touch ID.
Touch ID. That's it.
Yeah, which is nice keyboard. And that's USB. No, it's not. That's Lightning.
It's Lightning as well.
That's Lightning as well. But in the back, I can plug it in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can still work while it's plugged in.
But you can't with a mouse.
I can't with the mouse. It's bonkers. Why would anybody have designed?
Not just designed it, stuck with it for the last, I don't know, is it 15 years old by now? That design? It's got to be over 10.
Who would have, I feel for like, somebody somewhere is getting royalties for that or paid for it. And it's just the most ridiculous design ever. And I can't say anything else on it. It just infuriates me every time I have to charge it up.
Yeah, that's it. Like so the keyboard and the trackpad. I mean, the trackpad they put it on the back as well, didn't they? They didn't put it underneath. It's just the mouse.
Yep. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
So who knows? I don't think we're getting a redesign. We like the Max headphones. I think we're just getting a USB-C port.
I was going to say, I think we just are. That's all it's going to be. But yeah, yes. Madness. There you go. Madness indeed. Well, on that note, it's probably time for us to wrap up. We'll be back next week with episode 186 with all the latest tech news and stories. Of course, you can find us on X, Twitter, at Weekly Tech Rant, and of course, wherever you get your podcast from, and on YouTube as well at Weekly Tech Rant. Please tell your friends, leave us a note. I've been Jay.
I've been Karl. Have a good one all.
What's going on?
We'll have to edit this one out and yeah.
I'll try that again.
What? You might just have to add this in post.
What is going on?
It's not working.
It's not. I think it's the browser.
Professional here.